This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host Nick Mason.
Chilly old day in Melbourne, James.
I tell you what, Mason, I
Yes?
thought bloody spring was coming in hot and fast. Then you get a day like this, and you're like, if you don't like the weather, it's a.
Yes, go on.
I don't
What
know.
if I don't
I
like
don't
the
have
weather,
anything
James?
to
What?
say. Look,
What?
I don't have anything to say, all right? I have nothing of interest
Good.
up top of this podcast.
Well, I mean, that's life sometimes, isn't it? Especially these days, it's like, any updates? Nope.
I'm having trouble, like, connecting with people and hearing people with masks. You know what I mean? You go
Right.
into a store. I had someone said...
Well, let's say no to masks then,
That's not what I'm
James.
saying. I'm all for it. But someone said thank you at a store, and I had to get them to repeat it 3 times.
Yeah, right.
Which is, and then when I realized, I was like, oh, you could have just said, like, cool,
Yeah, right.
thanks. You know what I mean? Like, now I look like an idiot.
Well, then you should follow the system which I follow, which is whenever anybody speaks to you on any level, just ignore them and walk away. Just go.
Even when the masks go?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Now, people, they're often here for the news of the week, aren't they, Mason?
Yes, before we get into the news of the week.
Oh, okay.
What do you got? Have you got
Well,
something that
I was
comes
just going to
before
say,
the news of the week?
no, I was going to say there's time codes in the
Oh, there
description.
absolutely
People
is,
can
yeah.
jump about if
Yeah.
there's something you want
What
to
are
go
we going to be talking
to.
about this week, James?
Well, if you want to talk
about previews.
there's bloody all sorts of Star Wars shenanigans.
All right.
Daisy Ridley's come out and people are like, Star Wars is bad forever. Walking Dead news, there's Mulan controversies, Thor news, Dune, or is it
Yes.
Dune, has a trailer. Wonder Woman gets pushed back, some other stuff, and then we've got a topic, something along the lines of movies that should have stopped, but they didn't stop. They kept making them.
We're gonna figure out the finer details of that as the episode progresses. We'll just sort of
Or-
check our phones a little bit and
Or
stuff.
we'll accidentally get to it and not realize we're there and then fumble our way through
Exactly right.
the description of it.
And
Yeah.
sometimes we'll just read out one of the movies and go, "Yep, they should have made more of
They
those."
should have made more of those.
Anyway, bye.
No, the opposite.
Oh, the opposite. Yeah.
Anyway, so
but
what were you saying?
I was going to say before that, side note, last night,
Yes.
I was on a friend of the show, Ben Russell's Twitch stream.
I'm loving Ben Russell and what he's about.
He's making some calls to various people. Just having some fun chats. It was good to catch
Were
up.
you on the screen?
No, I wondered if I was going to be because I'd not seen his channel before.
Yeah.
But so I put regular clothes on, like outdoor clothes.
Sure.
To wear. A tuxedo.
Yeah,
and
your
then,
outdoor
then,
gear,
it,
yeah.
then it was just a phone call. So, but my face was on screen.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, just like my Twitter profile picture. But if you missed that, as what you can do is you can go to twitch.tv/bonmember, BONMEMBER, and I think there's an archive of that if you want to watch it.
Terrific. Check it out.
Twitch,
and in
Twitch is
general,
Twitch is very interesting.
he's a fun and interesting. Yeah, well, he's a fun and interesting guy.
for sure. Like
Yeah.
if you like any of that, you can check out. He's one of the hosts of Gamey Game
That's
on
right,
YouTube, where they
yes.
talk about video games in a vague sense, but it's very funny.
Exactly.
And he's also 1/3 of the podcast The Grub, where
Yes.
they do very rude, funny sketches.
And the one that they're currently on hiatus, which is really good. Comedians dying slowly. That's not what it's called. Yeah, Time to Die, which will come back when everything comes back. But there's like 4 episodes up there
Yeah,
with him
the
and Tom
essential
Whitty.
element of Time to Die, the podcast, is comedians do live comedy on stage, which is there's a little crimp in the plan.
Yes,
at that
exactly.
point, yeah.
It's great. Anyways, we should do the show, Mason.
Do the show.
Collider have reported exclusive hot stuff. Borat has been Borat 2.
Yes.
Because Borat's been filmed. We know came out 2006, but Borat 2 has been filmed and screened for a few select industry types.
Oh,
so Sacha
okay,
Baron Cohen
right.
was out there
Some
in the
bigwigs.
universe. Do you think he? I mean, okay. I'll read some more stuff and
Please.
then I'll ask you the
Then
question.
ask for my expert opinion.
The public knows who he is now.
You don't
so
have to laugh that hard at that.
no,
The
it's
term
a good
expert
joke,
opinion.
Mason. So he had to go undercover to interview people. One source described the film as Cohen playing Borat playing Cohen. But since we published this story, another source reached out to refute that description while still confirming the project exists. So we don't really know what it looks like. I think it's been 14 years.
Yes.
There's been enough time where not everybody would know who he is.
Oh, for sure,
Not
yeah.
everybody has seen Borat.
Didn't he do something quite recently?
He
Like
did that.
was a
This Is
singer?
America, or
Oh, he did that, but wasn't there? Didn't he do something live recently? Like he was a country singer or something like that.
I have
He
no idea.
masqueraded. I wonder if that was part of this.
It might have been part of that other thing that he did.
Maybe part of that
Yeah.
other thing that he did.
Was it This Is America or Look at
Or
America?
I Am America.
Yeah, something like that.
You're America. Look at America.
Some crazy shit in that show.
Yeah.
So look forward to Borat 2 when that comes out.
Yes.
If they filmed it, which it seems like they did.
Do you think you would be fooled if Borat came up to you? Not
Absolutely
Borat.
not.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, probably.
Well, obviously Borat. Would, yeah, you wouldn't be fooled by Borat.
No, but like if he came up to me,
Yeah.
I would probably be fooled because I'm not looking for it, am I?
No.
Like you wouldn't be. So
Pre-Borat, if Borat came up to you and he went to speak to you.
I don't know.
Because I've wondered, like I've asked this of people who've met like celebrities.
Yeah.
When you meet the celebrity, are you like? I've known people who are like, oh, I met this celebrity and I was like in awe of the celebrity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you in awe of them because it's the celebrity?
Yeah.
Or do they have a certain magnetism that made them a celebrity?
Okay.
Like even if they weren't famous.
Which celebrities are we talking about?
I
in
think
particular?
Tommy Daslow met Jack Black.
Oh, really?
if
he
I
seems like
recall.
he's got a magnetic, kinetic
Well,
energy.
that's to say, this was like Tenacious D era,
Yeah.
like before he was the big movie star. And I'm like, do you remember if it was like because he was in a band,
Yeah.
and it was a cool thing, or was it because you're like, oh, this guy's fun and charismatic, and I just
Yeah.
want to be in that orbit, which is I think how a lot of celebrities get to where they are. You
and
just
a lot
go,
of Instagram influencers.
yeah, and us.
And us, obviously.
Right? Not an unpleasant thing. You don't come near us and you're like, hey, it's that guy from the podcast, and you chat with us for a minute. You're like, I've got to go.
I hate
don't,
this.
I don't like. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is specifically, but I don't like it. But I wonder if because if you
Because
look
then
at
you hear people who meet celebrities and they're like, I didn't know it was Matt Damon and I didn't even care about it. You know?
personally, I don't even like famous, lovable celebrity Matt Damon. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if if we didn't know who Borat was,
Yeah.
and Borat came up to you,
Yeah.
do you think you'd be like, get away, or do you think there's something about
I think there's a part of me that
the
would...
charisma of the character
Yeah,
and the
I
man
think
where
there's
you'd be
that,
like, I've
and-
got to hear out what he has to say
And
at
I
least.
think also, especially if I was younger, there's
Yeah.
a level of politeness that you put in place because you're like, is he foreign? Does he have a head injury? Like, I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I feel like now I'm more like if someone comes up and they're like, hey, hello, I'm like, fuck off. Like, that's like my immediately. Like,
You stay away from my family. You're not even there. You'd by
Not even
yourself.
there,
Be
yeah.
like, you.
I mean, if it's like weird and erratic, and I feel like I'm in some kind of danger.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think politeness would take over a lot of the time.
Yeah.
you know, because
That's true.
Because he's like this affable
yeah,
goof,
yeah, exactly.
who's also like a hot, like, and then slip
But
in
I
a
also,
horrible thing.
I guess we're in that era where I would also be in fear that it was some sort of TV or movie related stunt.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think I would, as soon as somebody like that would come up to me and be like, I cannot help you.
I don't know whether though somebody would come up and I don't think they'd get anything out of me that's like horrendous.
Oh, yeah, for
Do you know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's getting people to say the N word or whatever. Like that would be nearly impossible. Nearly impossible.
No, wow.
Let's say actually impossible.
Actually impossible,
No, do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I don't think you'd be able to trick me into anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd hope. But I don't.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't. You know. There you go. Anyway.
But then also I would be concerned that they just like take individual
that's-
fragments of what I
exactly,
said and
yeah.
then build the N word with it. And
That's
then I'd
right.
be like, darn it.
But I've met people who are like, and we spoke about one guy personally the other day, like a guy we went to uni with. Remember that guy was like, hello. Remember
Oh, yeah,
that
that
guy?
guy, yeah,
And that was
uh-huh.
how he spoke and acted. And if I didn't know him personally, I'd be like, this is a bit, like this whole thing.
Yeah.
If I didn't see this guy every day for 4 years,
Right.
I'd assume this was a bit.
And maybe it still wasn't
Maybe
it.
it
Maybe he
was.
just kept it. Maybe he was attempting a Borat situation pre-Borat, but the world was not ready for him.
Anyways,
He was all like,
he was like that. Why was he like that?
What you said was very amusing.
Very odd duck, that bloke.
Really was.
Probably harmless. We don't know.
I don't know. Haven't seen him in the paper, so, you know.
Okay, so this was big news this week, but Daisy Ridley had an interview with Josh Gad.
In what context? 'Cause I've seen the clip, but did he have a podcast or?
No, he was taking over Kimmel or Fallon or something. And,
wow, the production values have dropped a lot.
well, they're all doing them from home and whatever.
It's a spare room, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, and she was talking.
But I mean, just do a fake Zoom background of like the Johnny Carson set or
that's
whatever.
a really good point.
Isn't it though?
I think they're slight because I know Colbert's sneaking back into the studio. I mean, he's filming in there now. Yeah, whatever. I think he's on hiatus at the moment. Anyway, they talked about the origins of Rey over the course of the Disney movies. And this thing was revealed, which I didn't think was a particularly shocking revelation because it was evident in the last movie in particular. But this is the quote that she said. At the beginning, they were toying with an Obi-Wan connection. There were different versions. And then it really went where she was no one. I'm presuming that's before episode 7 or around it between episode 7 and 8. Because I know Rian Johnson has talked about how they went through literally like every possible scenario.
Yeah.
They were like, Obi-Wan, she's a robot, Luke Skywalker's daughter. Yeah, whatever. They did literally everything. And then it came to episode 9 and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. That she, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing. So then even when I was filming, I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be. So yeah, not a surprise, but it
probably
just
showed up on the day. And it's just like, oh, that's your dad, by the way.
Granddad.
But I feel like you said that it was before episode 7. I sense that they still didn't know.
No. Sorry, I meant to say 8. If I said 7, I meant to say 8. But yeah,
because I feel again in watching because there was so much speculation after The Force Awakens came out because I feel there were so many clues that she could have been anyone's offspring in that movie.
I made a video like 5 years ago when the movie came out, and I went back and pinned a pinned a comment at the top of it that I think she's a Kenobi, and I think that's when they were floating around the idea because his voice is in it. Like there's a lot of parallels between her character and Obi-Wan.
Every scene she's like, "Hello there."
Hello there. Yeah. So I think
that's me, Rey Kenobi. She would say, "Hello there."
That's right. And then you get that, you know, he's a Skywalker and she's a Kenobi, but it's like flipped. You know what I mean? And, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or is it flipped? It's whatever it is.
There were enough flips.
Yeah. So, and then Rian Johnson obviously took it in a different direction, and then they again took it in a. I think if it had have been all J.J. Abrams movies, she probably would have been a Kenobi from the start because that Palpatine thing was a late inclusion. Like Colin Trevorrow wasn't going to do it.
Right.
He was going to roll with the
thing they established in the previous movie,
yeah.
And not directly contradicted for no reason, sure.
But I still think, though, if they had have pulled off this last movie and maybe even changed that reveal, and even if it was revealed that it was changed, like they went, oh, it was going to be this, but then it ended up being nothing.
Yes.
I think it would have been more well received and people would have been like, they had no plan, but it worked out. But now it's like they had no plan and they fucked it.
And it did not work
out. You know
out.
What I mean?
Yes,
so,
exactly.
And there's been the comparisons between, you know, the original trilogy which...
They were flying by the seat of their pants. But it was the 70s and early 80s.
And they were and they weren't. Like, there were pretty core story beats that they didn't deviate from. But then there were things like Princess Leia's his sister. Like, that was clearly like a last-minute addition. But I think George Lucas, probably around the time of the first film, knew the Darth Vader thing. We don't really know. He changes in every interview.
Exactly, and the vast majority of action beats and like the overarching plot was still the same.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, there were people who were like, well, the original series was, you know, seat of their pants, no plan, and they pulled it off pretty well. Yeah, but think of that, it's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, like, when has that ever happened?
Well, exactly. Like there was probably like, you know, 10 other movies that year that were like, we'll knock out a sequel for this.
Yeah.
We're just flying by the seat of our pants, 1970s style.
Yes, that's
but we're going to knock out, as soon as this is a hit, we'll knock out a sequel. And it's like, oh, you didn't make any money and we've never heard of that movie again.
That's right, exactly. So,
and this is a situation which, hey, the company is now $1 billion juggernaut and now they're planning out a thing. You would think that it would work out better if they planned it.
Yeah, absolutely it would, yeah. And look, what do you do? I mean, it's done. We just
you make a better movie.
Yeah, make a better movie. But like,
problem solved.
There'll be more Star Wars. You know what I mean?
In fact, I think I said that before the movie came out. So why aren't you listening to me, Disney?
I think the main problem is, and we probably said this years ago. Well, not the main problem. A problem is why are you opening with mysteries? You know, like the first Star Wars, it's not a mystery. Like the information is presented, and it turns out that some of that information is incorrect.
Sure.
Or in the way it's presented to Luke. But The Force Awakens is open with literally, who's that? Is Finn a Jedi? Who's Kylo Ren? Where's Rey from? It's like all these questions. And it's like you're setting yourself up for failure here. Because these, either some people are going to puzzle it out.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have an ending which people do not like.
You know, I found, you know,
just make a movie.
A New Hope was quite mysterious. You're like, what's this? What's this big white pointy thing? What's this triangle coming? It's a big triangle. The triangle's getting bigger. Such a big bloody triangle. Oh, it's a big spaceship.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Yep.
I understand
You
now.
realised that how long into the movie?
Oh, hours.
40. You'd finished?
Yeah, I'd watched it multiple times. I'd left.
But what are you going to say? Sorry?
No, that's all I had.
That was all, yeah, well, big triangles. Anyway, that's to lead into, though, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, is gearing up. Ewan McGregor has talked about how it's nice that people come up to him now and they're like, we like those movies. We grew up with them, you know?
Sure.
And I think that's probably going to be...
And then he leaves before they're like, sure, they weren't good
Yeah.
in any objective measure.
But you were fine in them. But I think we're again going to get that for the sequel movies in 10, 20 years.
definitely,
It'll be the same thing. And I know that's people like, well, they're not going to be as... Just wait. Like,
Yeah, just when you're...
I'm not trying to defend them because
No.
that last one in particular, like, oof.
And I'm not going to defend any of the movies I watched as a kid, but there's a certain sense of wonder to them. And
Yeah.
you go, it's just flashing lights and colours, and there's
Exactly.
a heroic story, and you don't think about all the errors in all the plot holes or whatever in it. You just go, oh, okay, it's...
I just know there's a million ships and a million Death Stars.
That's right.
That's all I need. So he said, I'm more excited about doing this one than I was the second and third one. So, that's
Yeah.
because it's Green Screen City, those movies. I'm just excited about working with Deborah Chow. She worked on The Mandalorian.
Well, this will be Screen City of some sort, right? Aren't
Well,
they using
that special-
it's called The Volume. I didn't know
Yeah.
that, but it's a cool name.
But you've got a sense of,
You can actually see stuff.
what's going
yeah,
on,
that's
yeah.
true, yeah. You don't have to use your imagination like lesser actors.
that's right. And the storyline's going to be really good. I'm really excited to play him again. It's been long enough since I played him before. So I think they said it's probably one and done in terms of seasons, but we'll see, won't we?
We sure
Because
will.
often these things, depending on how they're received, extend beyond their lifespan. Speaking of, The Walking Dead is concluding.
What other Ewan McGregor characters do you think should come back? Because, I mean...
There is no island! It's from
The
the island.
guy from the island, sure. Because, I mean, his character from Trainspotting came back.
That's true. Who else has come back? What else has he done?
Let's see. His character from Moulin Rouge could come back.
Yeah, as an even sadder
An even
poet?
sadder poet, exactly.
Jack and the Giant Killer or whatever.
Yeah. Serial liar from Big Fish. Or was his dad
His dad was a liar.
His dad was
a
the liar.
serial
Okay,
liar.
right. Well, when it's 20 years later and his mum's a liar this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking through his list of movies here, but a lot of I think we've named probably all of them. Do you want a robot
There
sequel?
was that one with Reese Witherspoon. Was he in a movie with Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah, Down with Love or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
now he's up with love.
He's loving
up
it.
for love.
Yeah.
He's back and he's up for love.
Do you want him back as the young Pope who's also a terrorist from Angels and Demons?
Yes.
I've never
Anyway.
seen I Love You, Philip Morris with Jim Carrey. Isn't that good?
I've heard it's good, but I've also never watched it.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Because we simply do not have time to watch good movies for
We
this
don't,
podcast.
mate. We really don't.
Or in our own real life.
Oh, he's in Mordecai. I started watching Million Ways to Die in the West the other night because I'm like, I need something just to put on. There's some jokes in that, man. Not like
Great.
it's not a terrible
Terrific.
movie. It didn't do
Is
well.
he in that?
Yeah, like in a very, very small cowboy cameo.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, so there you go. Do you want him to come back as an even sadder Christopher Robin?
Maybe. He narrated the full dome production Astronaut, created for the National Space Center. So
Was
it's
that him?
2006. So it's high time for that.
Oh,
again, I
mate, you're
reckon.
going to have to revamp that because they probably found some new
Yeah.
stars and shit.
I
That's him. Look, they've found some new stars and shit. Take a seat. All right.
All right. I think it should just be you go into the Space Center and it's just Ewan McGregor and it's just him. You just hear the audio recording and it's clearly him being handed the exact same script as in 2006, and he's just like, oh yeah, this is a bit familiar. He's like, oh okay, is this the same? What am I? Just read it.
Just read. You're contracted. You have to do
Yeah.
it. The Walking Dead is concluding, Mason.
Oh my goodness.
In 2 years, after a 24-episode final season.
Oh, that's a big final season. it sounds
Maybe
like.
they're always 20 to 24 episodes. I don't
Maybe.
know. But then we're going to get a Daryl and Carol spin-off.
right.
And they're also working on... Well, there's
Now, if I don't know anything about these characters, bearing
No.
in mind, a Daryl and Carol, a likely pairing or an unlikely
they're a very
pairing?
unlikely pairing, Mason.
Really?
Yeah. But they've always
Interesting.
been friends.
Okay.
Daryl was a character that was invented for the show,
Okay.
played by Norman Reedus. And
Oh, yeah,
Carol was
uh-huh.
from the comics,
Yeah.
played by a different actor who I can't remember the name
Not
of.
Norman Reedus.
Not Norman Reedus.
So this isn't a situation where Daryl and Carol have to go on adventures together, but they're both played by Norman Reedus.
That would be hilarious, Mason. So AMC was also working with Gimple Okay. To develop a new Tales of the Walking Dead series.
You're not going to click Gimple to see what Gimple is?
Sure. Let's check out Gimple. But also they're doing the Rick Grimes movies and all of those different things.
Right.
And our next book club for our comic book club is going to be what's it going to be, Mason?
Book 1 of the comic book, The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, and his name escapes me for the moment, but I'll...
Yeah. So Scott M. Gimple is a writer for comics and television. So I don't know. It's just like a production...
Tony Moore, I think is his name?
Yeah. So it seems to be working with this guy. So I don't know whether it's a production company or this guy, Scott M. Gimple.
Okay, right.
There you go. Anyway, I'm glad this is stopping, but it isn't.
Are you still watching it?
No. I've been out for 4 years.
Okay.
It's such a well-made show
Yes.
with really good actors, but it just sucks. Like, it's just not...
That's a real shame.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so bearing in mind you haven't seen it for a couple of years, why do you think Carol and Daryl are teaming up?
Well, they've always been like an unlikely pairing. That's something I do remember.
Well, at this point, I would say they're very likely then.
You know what? It doesn't even suck because there's good episodes and good character moments in it, but it just, for me, it's just spinning its wheels, and all the good stuff happens in this mid-season finales, and then it's just a lot of like, what are we gonna do? It's like, just kill all the zombies, I guess. I don't know. We'll do what you normally do. What's next, Mason? Mission Impossible 7 has resumed filming with a stunt so insane, even Tom Cruise was like, no, he doesn't mind.
He definitely did it. Yeah.
That's starting for Caravan of Garbage this week.
We watched Mission Impossible 1 and 2
That's
this
right.
week, and I've recorded those. So
gearing up, ready to go.
That's exciting. That's a mixed bag, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, generally, what's not as a whole, the series is not a mixed bag. It's mostly very good, I think. But it's those first two.
How much in a bag
Yes.
for it to be mixed? Like, what's the
50-50.
ratio?
50-50.
Do you think it's not like even like a 1/3? Because I think you could say mixed bag with a 1/3.
I guess if it's some sort of lucky dip,
yeah,
one third of bad gifts or trinkets would be a mixed bag.
I understand. Very good. So that's exciting. That's starting up, I guess. Mm-hmm. Well, no, it is.
Now, this stunt, he was leaping off a motorcycle. He was leaping a motorcycle off a
giant ramp.
Off a giant ramp, and then he was parachuting. Yeah.
But why?
Good question.
I mean, like, are they CGIing out that ramp? Like, where's it going?
Is he on wires also, or is that?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, wow.
But do you know what I mean? Like, with the ramp, is the ramp supposed to be something else, or is it just a big ramp that he happens to come across? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it like,
what luck? This huge ramp.
Yes, but is it like
terrorists attempting to steal this ramp?
Like, is it going to be somebody blows up a bridge and he?
Yeah, maybe
CGI bridge and whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I just think it'd be a bit rich to be like, what like a big ramp?
That's true.
Yeah. Do you love Controversy?
Yes. I was going to say, just before we do that, in Mission Impossible 2,
yes,
he does parachute off like a building, if you recall.
Oh, he does too. That's a green screen.
Yeah, well, see, that's exactly it. I imagine
still a good jump.
I imagine that's been eating at him for 20 years.
Oh,
It's just like, well, I've got to parachute off something for real.
Well, he did in the last movie.
I've got to do it again.
He did a Halo jump. He did like the highest jump ever in a movie or whatever.
Yep.
Do you remember?
But I know. But that's the thing, though. I think
that was all CGI lightning and it looked
but
weird.
I also think that there is... I'm sure there's a lot of danger in a Halo jump, but there is also a lot of danger in a low altitude jump as well, because apparently there's less time for the parachute to open, and if you do it too low, then the parachute just like and you die. So,
or you could hit the bike.
You could also hit the bike, yeah,
exactly.
Or the ground.
Or the ground. Does the bike get a parachute?
Good question.
Do
you think that's his new
Tom
sidekick?
Cruise would insist that the bike gets a parachute.
Maybe Ving Rhames' character has died and they've put his personality into the motorbike. Okay, what if it's Emilio Estevez's character?
Oh my God, because he's a tech guy.
Yeah, they put him in the motorbike.
That'd be great. Yeah. I'd love that.
And he's like, hasta lasagna, don't get it on ya, as the motorbike.
It's his popular expression.
Yes, I'm bringing it back. Just a little preview. I'm bringing that back,
and not a moment too soon, might I add.
So, with the world we're in currently, now you were saying, do I mind controversies?
Yes,
I love them.
So Disney, in its Mulan credits, it thanked a government body in the Western province in China, where around 2 million, and I'm not sure of the exact pronunciation, but I looked it up. I think it's Uyghurs, but it's pronounced Uighur. Muslims who have been forced into concentration camps by the Chinese government.
And they thanked this particular region.
They thanked them, yeah. So, and it seemed like because the time that it was filmed, this was already widely known in the world.
Yes.
This isn't something that I was familiar with because I'm not across all of world events, but it seems like something that a major corporation might want to look into.
Maybe. Yeah. They'd be like, can we get some permits to film here? And they're like, well...
Yes.
Yeah. Could we film in Canada instead?
Well, that's the thing, because Disney CFO Christine McCarthy came out and said, to acknowledge in a film's credits the national and local governments that allowed you to film there, that's a common thing. So in our credits, recognise both China and the locations in New Zealand, which was the majority of it was shot. But they needed some particular shots, which is why they went to China apparently. I would leave it at that, but it has generated a lot of issues for us.
Wow. Well, boo-hoo for you.
Yeah, so...
But we're good. And the rest of the statement says, so we are going to throw money at it until it is no longer an issue.
That's right. So 3 sources have been outlined and said that as a result of this, there's been this media blackout for Mulan in China.
Yeah, of course.
They were hoping that this would
generate some buzz, yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars, yeah. 2 of them said that the sources for it to be blocked came from the Cyberspace Administration in China. A 4th source is also a major Chinese newspaper that received a text with similar orders from a senior colleague. No reason was given for the notice for the media blackout, but sources say that it's believed because it was the backlash about what appeared in the credits and in the movie. So so it just seems like they did kind of bend over backwards to make this movie that would appeal to all markets, in particular China, and it's just blown up. And that's also as a result of the pandemic, obviously. There was also the lead of the movie who expressed sympathy for the Hong Kong police, which is a whole other situation. So it's just a bit of a shit show.
Because when I hear, that's the thing. When I heard that initially, I'm like, well, that is, I don't care for that. That's not my bag, support for those protesters. But at the same time, so many other people were involved in the movie, and I don't necessarily think it's right to boycott a thing because one person in it is but then I'm like, oh, the rest of this.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing about that is we don't know her particular situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not trying to defend it. I think it's that's the terrible thing to say, but she lives there. You got family there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's all bad.
And she's an actor, and a lot of actors say dumb stuff.
They do.
I don't know if you're aware of that. Almost constantly.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. It's almost like that charismatic aura that we talked about earlier. And so you overlook all the dumb stuff they say for the most part, except when it's in print and you don't have the charismatic aura, and then you're like,
true.
Ugh.
Or it's a weird Instagram video or whatever.
Yeah.
I love a weird Instagram video.
Pretty good, right? They seem to have dialed down a little bit.
Because at the start of the pandemic, they were all
because all their agents and PR people have been like, don't make any front-facing video camera sing-alongs with your friends. If you do, make them in a blank room so people cannot see your enormous living room and swimming pool.
Absolutely, yeah. This is from The Hollywood Reporter. So apparently they're using the Stagecraft LED screens, as mentioned, for the Obi-Wan thing, to shoot Thor, the next Thor 4, Love and Thunder. So there's one in LA. They're building one in London currently, I think maybe at Pinewood, but I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Probably Pinewood,
Probably Pinewood.
Yeah.
There's also a larger custom one for Fox Studios Australia, which Thor 4 is going to implement and use.
Nice.
That makes sense. It's it's perfect timing for this technology, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
it could not have come at a more opportune moment.
Yeah, right.
So also Chris Hemsworth was asked, they said, Chris Hemsworth, do you want to be Thor or do you want to quit being Thor? And he said, are you crazy? I'm not going into retirement, period. It's got brackets laughs. Thor is way too young for that. I'm only 1,500 years old. It is definitely not a film that I say goodbye to this brand. At least I hope so. So it looks like we're going to be getting Thor movies for a while. So what do you think of that?
Pretty good. Like him. Like Thor.
Yeah. So do you think there's...
I feel I've made my opinions on Thor pretty clear.
I think you have. But do you think you run the risk of kind of Jack Sparrowing it where there's no end date on it, so people are like, okay.
Well, I mean...
I don't think that's that now.
I think the key element... It's not that the audience tired of Jack Sparrow. It's that the audience tired of the cast and crew's exhaustion with the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, I think.
Yeah, okay.
I feel especially the last couple, like their exhaustion and their being done with this concept was just palpable on screen.
You could feel it.
You could really...
It felt like a big sigh the whole movie, didn't it? A big sad sigh.
And that's, and again, I like... again, I don't know Chris Hemsworth from A Beautiful Bar of Soap, but
I think you would be able to determine the difference,
I think,
Mason.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I mean, they probably both smell of bloody Byron Bay patchouli. You know
Not
what I
wrong,
mean?
mate.
But I get the sense that if he wasn't, I get the sense that he doesn't need the money, and nor would he just like.
He has a big Chris Hemsworth compound.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I don't think if he wasn't feeling the enthusiasm for it, I don't think he'd just churn him out. It feels like he'd just move on to another project. So
and I think this is obviously his most popular role. Like he's done other successful things, but this is by far Neighbours.
Was it Home and Away?
One of them. He did like a a Men in Black, which wasn't super successful. He did the one where he had to find a whale, but that was the real Moby Dick or whatever. Like he's done other stuff that hasn't
Whale
done as well.
finder, colon, the real Moby Dick.
A true story.
Second colon, we found him.
Mason did the Shuckers because he would, wouldn't he?
He did the Sharkers, yeah. Wait, was that a documentary or a real movie?
That was a real movie with him and Tom Holland. Rod Howard directed it.
Okay.
Do you remember?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But then he does like that action Netflix one that did reasonably
Extraction,
well,
yeah.
So there
yeah.
you go. Well, yeah, why wouldn't you do it? If he likes it, you're working with Taika Waititi at a cool cast. You're filming in your home country. There's no reason why he wouldn't do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can go down the street and get an Oporto chicken wrap.
Oh my God, he wouldn't. Would he?
Maybe he would. Maybe last day of filming he celebrates with an Oporto chicken wrap.
He probably would. And a pint? Maybe a pot.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Yeah.
Or a schooner.
Vitamin water.
Yeah.
A big pint of vitamin water. No, that's too many calories probably.
You're probably right. He's burning enough, I think.
Probably he'd have a pint. He'd say, I'll get a pint, and then he'd pause briefly, and then he'd be like mineral water.
I reckon
with like a hint of flavour.
I still reckon he's a bit, because I saw his dad shirtless. Something popped up. I wasn't looking for it.
I think you're going to say in my kitchen.
Yeah, he was in my kitchen. But his dad is in incredible shape. So I think he also has good genetics.
Okay,
He
right.
could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Dune has a trailer.
Yes.
Is it Dune or June, etc.? The joke.
The thing we do.
Yeah.
Oh, side note, art attacks in the news. We know.
Oh, yes, we do know, yes.
We're well aware. We mentioned art attack in passing.
By pure random chance.
I want to be very clear, and it turns out that Neil Buchanan, the host of Art Attack, has denied being Banksy.
My understanding is that Banksy, you could look it up.
Yeah, people know who he is already, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It's one of those things where if you want to know who he is, you can just look it up, and a couple of websites in, they'll be like, oh yeah, it's this guy. But most people sort of want to maintain the magic and be like, oh, who is it? What's his deal? Who's the guy? But we know.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that when you were explaining to me what Art Attack was, I wasn't really listening, so I still don't know what Art Attack is.
Now you're going to get people
Yep.
explaining to you what an art attack is.
Now, what were we talking about?
Dune.
Oh, Dune.
So,
we got an email. I was going to put this in email in the letters segment.
Well, then do it. Don't break with tradition.
No, I'm going to break the tradition. This is from
like
Adam
this.
Campbell. Adam here from Japan. Love the show, big fan, watching and listening for ages, etc. Anyway, I just had to tell you that Dune versus Dune has been settled once and for all. The official Japanese version of the Dune trailer lists the name as, and we have some katakana here, and that is Ju, and that's you. That's a U.
Yeah.
And then that line extends it, and then there's an N at the end. So it's Dune.
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 But that's
Dune.
I mean, it's been settled in Japan. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And also, I've deliberately mispronounced that for a laugh. So, yeah.
So we're further down whatever kind of rabbit hole
This is what, if anything, this is an additional wrinkle. Is it Dune or June or Dune?
Or Dunk.
Might be Dunk. It still looks a little bit like Dunk. But
certainly
anyway,
does, yeah.
that trailer is out. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah. So these are my notes. Various soundscapes.
Adam from Japan, sorry.
Thank you, Adam. These are my notes. Various soundscapes. A big worm. Dune, Idaho.
Good note. Excellent. Good
Is that
work.
anything?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Cool. Because Duncan.
You should try it out on your family, see what they have to say. Just walk in now. We'll pause the podcast and you go into your wife and your kid and you can be like, Dune, Idaho? Maybe we can do a live reaction video.
My son would not be impressed.
No.
Claire might. She wouldn't. Yeah.
He called me a frog earlier.
He did. He had the option to say goodbye to you.
No, he did it earlier.
I did.
Like unprompted. You asked him to do it the other day and then he's remembered.
So, what do you think of this trailer?
Looks pretty good.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an all-star cast out
That's
there.
crazy.
We also watched the Dune trailer.
Yes. Someone has put together
side by side with clips from David Lynch's Dune.
Yes.
And sort of the and sort of comparing the various
That's
characters.
from Matt Skuta on SKUTA on YouTube. But sorry, go on. Yeah.
And it's sort of comparing, the various actors portraying the characters and scene by scene, what has been recreated shot by shot kind of thing.
Do you think one of them looks better than the other?
I mean, it is.
I like the big boxy force fields.
it's a close race. But I think the new one with millions and millions more dollars of cutting edge visual effects technology and costuming and is better actually.
Do you think David Lynch, if he had the technology that it's available now, then could have made something like this? Because he's an amazing filmmaker. But do you think he's got? They're different, aren't they?
I think he had his heart set on those boxy force fields, so I don't think he would change anything.
I'm not against the boxy force field. It's just a bad-looking effect now.
That's what he wanted.
I think
he was dead set on a bad-looking boxy force field effect.
You could make that look good. I feel like a boxy force field.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he didn't want it to look good.
Well, then he succeeded, didn't he?
That's part of the David Lynch style. He's just like, I don't want things to look good.
Yeah. So I've also, well, we talked about this before the show, but how is this going to go?
Right?
Like, is this going to John Carter it? Is it going to be the next Star Wars, which some people are saying? I think there's a few things that are on its side. One is not that the director exclusively makes amazing movies that people don't watch.
But that is certainly a factor, isn't it?
Yeah, they give him $200 million to make a movie nobody sees. But it's cast young and popular.
Yeah.
Like your Timothée Chalamet and your Zendayas, and even like you got your Jason Momoas, your Oscar Isaacs.
Oh, my God.
There's people in there that you got your different quadrants that it might appeal to.
Yeah. This is a 4-quadrant picture.
That's what I'm saying. But then again, like that doesn't mean anything necessarily, but you're getting in a bunch of different audiences by casting that way. You know?
Yeah, right.
You got your Dave Bautista fans and whatever.
Stellan Skarsgård heads.
Oh, my Scar heads. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know anything, but
oh, you're Stellan Skarslards. They're lads.
Oh, yes.
And they like Stellan Skarsgård.
Of course they do. He's an amazing actor. He's great in Thor.
Yes.
I'm just thinking of, I'm thinking of the right Skarsgård.
You are thinking of the right Skarsgård. It's true.
A lot of Skarsgårds out there.
Yeah,
Be aware, everybody. Look, we don't have a trailer breakdown or anything on it because I don't know anything about Dune and I don't want to learn anything before this.
Right.
I want to go in hot and fresh.
Yeah. Look, I think it probably will do well.
Then there's the pandemic also.
Then it's going to go poorly. It's going to go very poorly then.
Because Tenet's doing like...
I don't think this will John Carter it because I think this is as a cultural product, people are like, oh, the idea of Dune, that's very... I know what it is. I know it's a beloved sci-fi franchise and it's something I should see. Whereas John Carter, people are like, what was that?
But a lot of people don't know what this is though.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because... there hasn't been a movie. Well, they did a show and there was Dune and then Sons of Dune.
I mean, we've been talking about it for like 7 to 8 years.
Million years.
So,
but there were TV series because they redid it in the late 90s and then there was a sequel series with James McAvoy.
Yeah, in like 2003, yeah.
Yeah, both of which I haven't seen either. But that's not like...
No, that did not break into the public consciousness.
No.
What was that even on? Sci-Fi Channel?
We didn't have that here. No. We had 4 channels then and now we've got 5. What's next, Mason? Oh yeah, this is Dune related sort of because
what do you think of the look of the sandworm?
It's great. It's like big and menacing and terrifying and it's pushing up all the sand particles.
What do you think of the look of
Oscar Isaac's hair and beard?
That's what I was going to say.
Terrific. Always terrific.
Some of the best, yeah.
I'd kill everybody I know for that beard and hair, Mason. That combination.
On you, or you just mean you want him to shave it off, put it in a bag?
I don't want to shave it off. I want skin and all, and I want to put it on one of those foam mannequin heads.
You want him to be scalped?
Yes, Mason.
Okay.
So what else have we got here? So this is Deadline initially reported that Warner Brothers might be moving Wonder Woman 84 again from its current release date of October 2nd, and then there was rumors that maybe Black Widow was going to get bumped and was going to take the November spot of Black Widow
to streaming.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think
but
so.
Maybe. But then it has been officially revealed that Wonder Woman is moving to Christmas Day.
Christmas Day?
Christmas Day, I say. Yes.
Not even Boxing Day?
No, Christmas Day.
Wow.
Because now movies open on Christmas because,
true, yeah.
Not everybody gives a shit about Christmas.
That is very true.
If I could escape it, I would go and see Wonder Woman 2 on Christmas Day.
Well, you can't. You're going to be here transforming overly complicated Transformers all day.
So true. And then on Boxing Day, I'm going to be doing a movie breakdown for Wonder Woman 1984 when I should be on holiday. It's going to be good. So there you go. Not a surprise. There's speculation that like this is to give Tanetta some breathing room. It hasn't done super well as of so far, obviously, because it can't. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And I never will.
James, if there was a Deadpool movie coming out soon, if there was a Deadpool, like Deadpool 3 was coming out,
sure,
that trailer would say, coming out whenever, and then your Deadpool would be like, I don't even know.
And they could record some new dialogue because he's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
You could say literally, he could even do it on the day. He could say, today is
that's right.
September 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Here's a question for you, our last bit of news.
I'm ready.
Do you love Robocop but wish he wasn't in it?
No? That went a different direction than I thought. What is this going to be, Delta City Police or something?
So Moviehole.net have reported
great start.
Yeah, Ed Neumeyer, he was one of the co-writers of the original Robocop, revealed that MGM is developing a Robocop prequel TV series centering around the movie's villain, Dick Jones. There's the idea of doing things about business and law enforcement in the city of Detroit a minute and a half in the future. It would do all sorts of stories about business and tech and Silicon Valley and corporations, snakes in suits. Snakes in suits?
That's right.
That is the future. Cops, all that. It's a wonderful, rich tapestry. So we're talking about it, and it'll be an interesting story to fund a work with a younger version of Dick Jones we meet in Robocop. He's an actualized corporate predator in the movie, but nobody necessarily starts out as the bad guy, so it's going to be the evolution of Richard Jones to Dick Jones.
Oh.
Yeah. And the story of OCP and how the world moves into the future and how the corporate world behaves and before he gets machine gunned.
And Robocop's not in it.
And Robocop's not in it. I don't know if I've emphasized...
He's not even in Detroit because he transfers in at the start of the first one. He's
not
even going to be around.
Yeah. See, this is good. This is why you're in this show, because I want some hot takes.
I can't rule it out being bad. Again, like...
Well, the thing about Robocop is it's not a good movie just because of Robocop.
No.
So much of that is the world, but also it's called Robocop. So it's
maybe don't take out the core element of the movies for the TV series. Did they look at Gotham and went, well?
I think possibly. There's There's so many prequel series.
Batman series worked without Batman.
There was Krypton.
Yep.
There was Smallville. These are not uncommon things to happen.
Yeah.
Imagine a universe, but before.
I guess Ed 209 could still be in it.
Yeah. No, isn't he new at the start?
I guess he's newish. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd see a proto one at some point.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, look, whatever, man. Robocop World, sure.
Yep.
But he's not in it, obviously. Yeah. So there you go.
Do you think we would see like various Robocop prototypes just running wild? I think maybe.
Like running loose?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Probably. We'd get hints of it.
Lewis will be in it?
Which one's Lewis?
Parker Lewis from the TV series Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
I don't even know what you mean.
It was like a Ferris Bueller ripoff series.
Okay, right. No, I've not seen it. Is it good? Could he lose?
Not really. I mean, that would defeat the premise of the title, wouldn't it?
I guess it would.
No, Officer Lewis was Murphy's partner.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the lady,
yeah.
The lady cop.
Yeah. Was she actually in Parker Lewis Can't Lose?
No.
I don't know what's happening, Mason.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, before we get into our topic, we have a website.
Beans Baxter?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we have a website called bigsandwich.co if you want to sign up. That's like a Patreon tier that we control and get most of the money from. And there's movie commentaries go up there. There's bonus podcasts. There's an ad-free feed for this podcast, early videos, Caravan of Garbage in particular. It's $9 a month if you want to sign up, but you don't have to.
I think it's a great deal. We just recorded some stuff for it yesterday.
We did.
A grand old time, I think. It was a little twist on our podcast. We got this covered.
Yes.
We talk about clickbait, but this time around we're going to talk about a little something different.
Yeah. That's right. Here's a topic.
Actual murders. Just kidding. We're talking about a different thing.
Hey, everyone. Mason has left the room, so I'm going to sneak in this ad just quickly. He'll never know. So when you use the bathroom, let me ask you this. Do you close the door behind you? I hope you do, because you don't want people randomly passing by, looking in, see what's going on. So why would you let people look at what you're doing when you go online? Those things are equivalent. What I'm saying is using the internet without ExpressVPN is like going to the bathroom and not closing the door. Do you know that your internet service provider, like your Comcasts or your Verizons, they know every single website that you ever visit? And what's worse, they can sell your information to ad companies and tech giants who then use that data to target you specifically. So ExpressVPN, it puts a stop to that. It creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that your online activity cannot be seen by anyone. I use ExpressVPN on all my devices. It works on literally everything. Phones, laptops, even routers. So everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can still be protected even though they don't have ExpressVPN. And the best part is, using ExpressVPN is as easy as closing that bathroom door, the one we were talking about from earlier. You just fire up the app, click one button, and you're protected. ExpressVPN is the world's #1 ranked VPN by CNET, Wired, The Verge, and countless others. And get this, if you're like me and you believe your online activity is your business, secure yourself today by visiting expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet. Use our exclusive link. That's expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet. And you can actually get an extra 3 months for free. That's expressvpn.com/weeklyplanet. Shh, he's coming back. Pretend I was never here. Mason, what do you think about this in terms of a topic that we could talk about today, this very day?
Go on.
Movies that should have stopped at one movie, but then they went, do you want more of these movies? And everyone went initially, oh, maybe. But then they made them and people went, actually, no.
Our initial impression was wrong.
Yes.
We will not see these movies. But you keep making them. What's happened? We've uncorked some sort of genie from this bottle and we hate it.
And so the proviso is here that it has to be, there's one initial absolute banger. You know what I mean?
Yes,
People are loving it.
Yeah.
And then everything else from there is worse.
Okay, sure.
And I think there are examples of here where I've got things that are, they're fine, but they're nowhere near like the first one.
Sure,
The Matrix might be a good example.
Yeah,
Let's say Terminator doesn't count because even though there's been a million bad ones, there's 2 good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the idea here. But seeing as we are getting a new Robocop series where he's not in it at all.
Yeah.
Or maybe we get a cybernetical leg at some point that hints towards.
Oh, and it goes wild. There's just a cybernetic leg popping around.
It's just a gun popping out of it, shooting people.
Oh my God.
But I think that's a good one to start on because Robocop it's a cult classic, right?
Yes.
It's still around in comics and various other mediums. We got a reboot a few years ago. Do you think they should have stopped at one Robocop? Even though I think Robocop 2 is not a terrible movie.
Yes, I definitely think they should. Oh, just before we get into it, just for people who are wondering, this is a suggestion of John from Louisiana who emailed in last week.
Oh,
if
thank
you
you,
recall.
John from Louisiana.
He's in Louisiana, and there was that whole hurricane situation. So
oh, that's right.
I hope he's doing better. I hope everyone in
Absolutely.
Louisiana is doing better. But and hopefully this will cheer you right up, John. This one's for you, buddy.
That's right.
But also all the other listeners. You don't have to. You don't have it exclusively.
John, this is just for you. I'm going to emphasize that
Okay, right.
this is just for you in particular.
I'm trying because there's so much spin-off media from RoboCop.
Yes.
There's
some good stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think we should, if we're talking franchises, I have to look through everything and go, okay, do 2 additional terrible movies?
You think RoboCop 2 is terrible? I mean, I guess there's 3 additional movies because there's the reboot, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a bunch of like made-for-TV movies, and there's a cartoon, and there's a live-action series.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if there's bad additional media, at some point do we get a really good thing that justifies there being all these sequels? RoboCop 2 is still pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's 3 where it really took a dive, I think.
He's got a jetpack and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was PG.
You think it would be fun if you had a jetpack.
Right, and a gun arm.
That's a recipe for fun. A gun arm and a jetpack.
Oh, my goodness.
But they toned down all the violence. They switched out the lead. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of things in that movie that are not good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was Marvel had a comic book series, and there's been a bunch of Dark Horse stuff. RoboCop versus the Terminator.
Of course, a good one and a not good one.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're all not good. Who's to say?
And if there was no RoboCop franchise sequels, he'd never appear in Mortal Kombat 11.
That's true.
It's looking pretty cool in that.
So do you think it's worth it just for Mortal Kombat 11, a game that you don't have?
No, absolutely it's not. Okay, well, what we have to do is we have to make a decision here for each of these. Do we wipe out all the other movies in existence? Would our lives suffer if we wiped out every other thing after the original?
I'm still banking on a good RoboCop, so I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Keep it around. It's kept in the zeitgeist, even if most of it's not
Are
great.
we factoring in that if let's say we could go back in time and like remove all the other RoboCop sequels and spin-offs and comics and cartoons and whatever, are we factoring in that the deluge of fan demand for sequels would annoy us to death? I think we have to maybe take that out of the equation because every single one of these would be like only one Star Wars, but people would be just wanting more Star Wars. Well, we know, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're going to have to take it out. We're going to.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right.
And I'm going to say just one Robocop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't really disagree with that. What's, I think, really compelling about, I think, every one of these on the list is they're all like, oh, I would like to see more of that.
Right.
You know? And Robocop, but good.
Yes,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Uh-huh.
There's so much potential to make something amazing off the back of a lot of these.
You know what, James? You know what we'd miss out on if we got rid of all the other Robocop stuff? The Robocop 3 game on the Amiga 500.
Is that a good game?
Yes.
How about you keep that then?
It was in 3D.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but then I'd be like, what happened to Robocop 2? Why'd they make a second sequel only on the Amiga 500, which I'm loving. I'm loving it. I'm clicking my mouse. Oh my God, I'm in a driving sequence.
Wasn't that not a good game?
That was great.
I bet it wasn't.
It was good.
You're
it was
a
excellent
lot.
you look it up.
You look it up.
You watch a Let's Play while we do the rest of this
Okay,
podcast.
I will, yeah.
You'll be like, this is amazing. You use this little targeting sensor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've written here Donnie Darko because there is a sequel, but what do you...
Extra Darko?
Yeah.
Donnie Darko 2 Extra Darko?
Yeah. But if you've seen Donnie
Darko,
Darko...
more Darko still.
Spoiler alert for all of these, including Donnie Darko, but he gets...
S. Darko? It's about his sister,
yeah,
right?
he gets killed by a plane
I don't like the
engine.
first Donnie Darko.
I know you don't, yeah. So
I'm saying 0 Donnie Darkos.
Wow. Well, I don't
Yeah.
have much to say about Donnie Darko, so yeah, that's fine with me. Here's
But what are all the college students, what are all first-year college and university students going to put up in like the 2000s on their
People
wall?
have moved on from their Donnie Darko.
I'm saying in the past. What are they going to do?
It doesn't matter.
A second Reservoir Dogs poster? A second Pink Floyd poster where all the Pink Floyd albums are on the backs of naked ladies or whatever? What are you going to put that on there?
Yeah, these are all valid points, but
Yeah.
if you're getting rid of Donnie Darko,
Another Scarface poster?
another Scarface poster.
Wow. I'm getting rid of Donnie Darko, yes.
That's fine, whatever. So Starship Troopers
Yes.
has 2 live action sequels and some other animated stuff. And
Dump them.
Dump them all?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. The third one is the one where they bring back Casper Van Diem in live action and there's the mech suits and whatever.
Yeah,
The second one's more kind of alien-esque and it's set inside a base and whatever.
Yeah,
But they're not good.
No, absolutely not.
So this first one is...
The first one is teetering on not good as well. That's another Paul Verhoeven
It
classic,
is.
right?
No, I don't think that's teetering on not good. I think that
Okay.
is genuinely a good movie. Yeah. It does have that weird... No, it's not like Robocop, but it's this weird universe that's... It's a horrible...
Did we recently do? Maybe we did on we got this covered. We recently cover an article on like what the secret meaning of Starship Troopers was.
I think we may have.
Yeah, where it's like you might think this is just an action movie, but it's about fascism.
Is
See
it?
all the black leather outfits and the SS
those
hats
Nazi
and stuff, all the
outfits,
Nazi
yeah.
stuff. It's actually about. Is it really? You thought it was just about a movie about people shooting bugs. Well, it's actually about.
You're an idiot, actually.
It's about a militaristic society where everybody is it. Is it because all the people who have to join up to the army if they want to become actual citizens? Is that what it's about? Wow.
Invading, another planet unnecessarily for its resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then pitting it on them. Incredible. So, yeah, I agree. Get rid of it all. But love a good sequel.
Also, if people have major disagreements, we could do a follow-up on this maybe next week.
We could call it major disagreements.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm busy next week, though, doing this show with another topic.
Oh, well, what I'm saying is we could include it in there.
Ah.
Yeah. If you think...
I'm still busy.
Okay, right. No, it's true.
fine.
We're both very busy. But if people want to... People email in if you're like, no, but what about this Robocop comic book, which was the best comic book ever made?
Yeah.
If you want to let us know.
Nah.
All right, then. Don't do it then.
I disagree. No, I
Wow.
disagree with that sentiment that there's a Robocop comic that makes the whole thing worthwhile. Then again, I haven't read them all.
Okay.
What about The Matrix? I think
There's
there
some
are
good stuff in those sequels.
I agree, but they're not as good, obviously. And then
Yeah.
you've got your Animatrix, you've got your video games, including one of my faves, The Path of Neo, where you fight ants.
Yeah.
But I would wipe all that
Interesting.
just for this movie to exist by itself as this oddity action flick that's
Yeah,
much
right.
replicated but never as successful. I think the core ideas are so strong and it's just so revolutionary that you could just leave it alone.
Yeah, right.
We're not wiping out video games, are we,
Yeah.
though, really? So I could still get my Path of Neo,
No, we're
right?
wiping out video games.
boo!
Yeah, we're wiping you know what? You could get the first third of Path of Neo.
That's fair.
Because it's the
Okay.
first movie. That's
Okay,
all you
good.
would get.
I'm okay
And
with-
then it would
Oh,
glitch.
not the ant. I don't
Then
get the ants.
Then it would glitch and break. It would brick your PS2 or whatever it was.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
This is one I would want to reserve judgment until we get the next Matrix movie.
You could say that for every one of these, though.
No, I could. A lot of these I'd be happy to be like, nope, don't care with this new, but I'm genuinely excited to see
fair enough.
what this sequel becomes.
Would you be more excited if there was nothing in between, though? Or would you be like, they're going to botch this?
Ooh, but that's the thing. I can't make that decision because if there's no sequels, we can't get the remake. That's the rules of this.
Yeah, you're right.
The rules of this that we can change at any time are...
No, I'm locked into it, I think.
Okay, good. I think there's enough interesting concepts in the Matrix sequels that I would like them to stick around, even though they are quite bad.
Okay.
Like the idea, although I wonder, look, I'm allowing fan fiction. I think
though we should allow...
Or just flights of fancy.
I think we should allow comics and spin-offs that aren't movies in general, video games.
Well, agree to disagree.
Except if they're based on, like you said, 1/3 of Path of Neo.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I love all the extended concepts of if this isn't the real world, if it is a computer system, what can we do with that? Oh, we can hack it and we can build an infinite corridor of doors and you can
big ants.
Big ants. You can quick jump to an arena with big ants and fight the big ants or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or, that's all I have.
Those are good
Ghosts,
examples.
The ghost guys.
They said there were ghosts in them, but maybe they're werewolves?
There are also werewolves, yes.
But aren't those guys werewolves?
The ghost guys?
Yeah.
No, they're ghosts.
I think they might not be ghosts and be something else.
They're definitely ghosts.
I disagree.
But the line in that movie that I don't care for is the one where they're like, if you've ever heard a story about there being a ghost or a werewolf or a vampire, it's a glitch, it's a program in the Matrix. Or it could just be somebody telling a story. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Mostly it'd be that, I think, actually.
I'm just checking if these guys are
they're
ghosts.
Ghosts. I mean, they're not actual ghosts.
No, I know that.
They're programs.
They're exiles, rogue programs, the older versions of previous agents from previous iterations from the Matrix. Yeah. So there you go. But they've got sharp teeth, don't they?
No.
I think you'll find that they do.
The guys that Neo fights in that castle, they have sharp teeth.
Okay.
The twins have white man dreadlocks.
Yes.
So...
Oh, I'm talking about the twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're both talking about the same thing.
Yes,
this
they're
is
ghosts.
fun, isn't it? All right, they're ghosts. I mean, they've got.
Also, I wonder if we're going to get in the sequels any hints to the previous, because they're from again, like you said, a previous iteration of the Matrix where it was just a nightmare world.
Yeah.
And I kind of would be excited to see that world. I think it'd be fun.
Maybe they're werewolves. Mason, would you?
Maybe it's Maybelline, werewolf Maybelline.
Yeah. Excluding the original animated movie, would you stop at one Transformers movie? Because I certainly would. Even though we've got Bumblebee, which I like.
Yeah. Can we stop earlier than that?
I don't think that's how this works.
Oh, we would have to cut out Bumblebee, but I'm willing to do it.
Same. I'd make the sacrifice.
Even though we've gotten a lot of views on those YouTube videos.
Yeah, but it's
not worth it for our psyches, ultimately.
No, definitely not.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
Every time I think about them, I get an actual headache when I watch those movies now.
Yeah, they're no good. Luckily, we never have to watch them again. So, yeah, that's easy for me to do.
Yeah.
And there's other Transformers media, but I'm talking specifically the live action.
I mean, we wouldn't get Stanley Tucci going, oh my God! You know that bit?
I'm okay with that. We've got enough Stanley Tucci in real life. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying that he's around and that's good.
Yeah, that's right.
I like him when he pops up in a Hunger Games movie and he's got a strange wig.
That's right. The thing about some of these movies, though, I think, is that if we eliminate them, it removes. Look, and I don't want to go too far into this alternate history we're building.
Sure.
But if you remove a lot of these movies that a lot of people did for a paycheck, it eliminates their ability to do dumb good movies. Further along the line.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like Tooch did this so he could do, I don't know, something else.
Hunger Games. So he could put on a strange wig.
That's right.
And interview people on a fake stage.
That's right. He did that for scale. He did that for minimum wage.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're thinking too much into it. I don't think we need to go, well, their career would be negatively affected.
Sometimes I'm going to.
Okay,
all right?
fine.
What would Shia LaBeouf be doing now?
Probably the
same. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
no, I think he did all the Transformers.
I think he still would have got
American Honey or whatever.
Totally, and he still would have done Indiana Jones and some of the other action stuff. Eagle Eye, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know if you have that on the list. How many Indiana Jones movies? All of them?
Yeah, all of them. You got to because there's 3 out of 4 are good.
3 out of it's a real mixed
and
bag.
And the young Indiana Jones. No, it's not.
And some good video games.
Some point
and click adventures.
You know that's the truth.
And Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And it allowed Harrison Ford to again do Air Force One.
Is that true?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
And to do that low budget Star Wars movie.
Yeah, he did it for scale, didn't he?
He did it for scale, yeah.
What about The Mask? Would you eliminate Son of Mask, a movie I haven't seen?
No. I like the first of The Mask, but when was the last time?
No, I'm saying you just keep The Mask.
Oh, right. Then yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. I haven't seen it, but that's how this works, remember?
I forgot the rules of the thing we were doing. Sorry. Yeah, of course I would eliminate Son of the Mask.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, good.
But I don't know I even want to know that it exists, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'd lose the Mask cartoon, which I watched.
But again, it's a spin-off thing. It doesn't count.
No, it does count. It's going.
Fine, I don't care.
Everything after the original disappears.
Okay,
That's how
fine.
this works.
What about, I've just written here, and this one has a question mark for a reason. Underworld? Would you eliminate all the Underworld sequels and prequels?
Can we just do Underworld / Resident Evil? Just pile them all in together.
Well, I thought about Resident Evil, but I think the third one is the best one.
That's the Sahara Desert one?
Yeah, so
whatever it is, the world's a desert.
I'll keep all the Resident Evils.
Okay, name a good thing that happens in that third movie.
They get swamped by crows.
Okay. Yep, all right.
It's an okay movie.
And you would be willing, again, you have to go into every one of these movies at the cinema.
No, I don't.
No, but you do in this instance. We have to watch every one of the ones we already watched.
Fine,
you have to go in every time going, is this going to be good? Oh, I'm disappointed again.
Yes.
Imagine how much more free time you'd have if there weren't any Resident Evil or Underworld movies.
It wouldn't affect me. I don't think it's negatively affected me in any way.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm okay with them.
Yeah.
I think they're not good, but as we've talked about, in each one of the movies, there's something they put in the trailer or in the movie that you go, oh yeah, that's the only thing you remember.
Yeah.
That's what gets you into the next one.
Yes.
Yeah, so but you'd eliminate all the Underworld movies?
I would eliminate every Underworld movie.
Not everyone.
Every single Underworld movie. I'm invoking my clause, which I'm allowed to do every time, which is eliminate all the movies.
What about this? Speed. And there's only 2. Would you eliminate Speed 2?
Oh, it's a great performance by...
Willem Dafoe.
Is it?
Well, he's the villain in Speed 2.
Oh, I was talking about Speed 1.
Oh, yeah. We're not eliminating Speed.
I know.
Speed
I've forgotten again. Yes, I've forgotten the rules of this.
Would you eliminate everything post Speed 1?
So just Speed 2?
Yes.
Just Speed 2 cruise control. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
If we do that, we eliminate the ability to make funny jokes about sequels where we go, oh, The King's Speech 2 cruise control. You know
we could do Electric Boogaloo. We do that one that everybody does.
I'm going to keep it in, even though I don't think I've seen it all the way through, because then we don't get to say cruise control. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, look, if you eliminate Speed, you'd also eliminate the 2009 season of Mythbuster episode where they tested the iconic bus jump. And there's also, it was parodied in the sitcom Father Ted, an episode called Speed 3. Also, I think there was a Yo Gorilla ad from the 90s.
Yeah, there definitely was, where he's on it's probably on a Speed.
But that was linked to the first Speed.
Yeah, right.
So that's not Speed 2 related.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'm amazed they haven't done a Speed 3. Speed 2 did not do well. But let me just check if there was any plans for that. Yeah, there's like fan trailers and stuff, but it doesn't seem to be. I'm sure they've thought about it, but there you go. No Speed 3.
Speed 3, traction control.
Speed 3, cruise control.
Oh.
That's your favorite joke.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What about this? I've just written here.
Speed 3, side airbags.
Side airbags?
Worth saying, I think.
I don't think that was.
No, I think it was.
Where are you? I haven't seen any of these, or maybe I've seen some of them, but where are you on Hellraiser?
I don't care about Hellraiser.
Skip. Done.
Here's the thing. If we
isn't the first one good?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I don't know. I was going to say wipe them all, but then I remember Cabin in the Woods would lose a small element. Like the more more horror sequels you eliminate, the more you eliminate of the movie Cabin in the Woods.
Because I think
can't have that.
There's a few horror ones that I've written here. Like Saw is a good movie, but every other Saw is mixed to not good.
Yeah, right.
But then you've got like the Freddy movies, but then there's all of a sudden there's like a good sequel, like a few in.
Is there?
Yeah, there's the one where it's the real world and whatever.
Oh, New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Nah, turf it.
Turf it? Okay.
Yep.
The Chucky movies, every now and then there's a good one.
Turf them.
Jason, I think is there another good one in there?
Turf them.
Okay, turfed.
Oh, but you're right.
This is the Cabin in the Woods.
We're losing all the Cabin in the Woods stuff, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, I guess we got to keep them all.
I guess we do.
Yeah. Or are all the tropes of Cabin in the Woods mainly based on the first one of each of those?
Mostly.
Yeah.
But I'd have to go through and I'd have to look at a video on YouTube that has a monster breakdown.
Right.
All right, here we go. This one, I'll be very fascinated by your response to this, but I think I know the answer.
Go on.
How many of the Takens were you willing to sit through?
I've seen 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, let's eliminate all of them.
No.
Just the first one.
The one is like, but watching one, there's a lot of like, Liam Neeson, everybody but Liam Neeson is an idiot.
Right.
Everyone around Liam Neeson doesn't know what they're
Everyone
talking
thinks
about.
he's a deadbeat, but they're the deadbeats in a way, just in a different... Look,
how dare you go on a holiday, Liam Neeson's daughter?
Yeah,
You're
right.
an idiot. You're going to get kidnapped.
And also, and if we eliminate if we eliminate all the Takens, do we also... Does that mean his career is impacted by the fact that he isn't doing a lot of like old man in Europe and his daughter's missing and then he has to go fight wolves or whatever?
I think he still would. I think the goodwill and the action Liam Neeson that we see is from Taken, the first Taken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
People have probably seen the movie Unknown and thought it was a Taken movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
But then also you got to remove like your old guy, Sean Penn did one, Kevin Costner's doing one.
Denzel Washington was the equalizer.
One. But I don't know if that's Taken related because that feels like...
It's definitely a genre, isn't it? Though?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Dad's on a rampage.
Dads have had enough of the way society is looking down on them.
That's right.
Yeah. So
they have had a gutful.
They've had an
absolute gutful.
But I think those movies...
They want everybody to settle down.
Get off their phones.
That's right.
And use a ham radio or whatever.
Taken 4, people are on their phones too much.
So...
And Liam Neeson is Jack of it.
Would you eliminate all the other... does that eliminate all the others? Or do you think off the back of the first
I think off the back of the first one, he would still get all the other ones. I think he's made all the Grey and all those ones. He's made all those.
The Grey's not really a Taken movie, though.
Yeah, no, that's
I mean,
true.
it's probably a result of him getting cast, but it's not a Taken-esque movie. That's more like, what does death mean? That's like that's.
But I don't think he's gotten all the other Angry Man in Europe movies based on the Taken sequels. He's got them off the first one because people have fond memories of the first one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
those sequels are not good. How many Jaws you keeping?
Just the first one.
Yeah, me too. Right. Jaws 2 is actually okay.
Yeah, Cruise Control.
The first Jaws, you can't say that anymore. Because you eliminated it.
No, I didn't eliminate it.
Okay.
You did. I did not eliminate it.
So I can't say it.
You can't say it.
So the first Jaws I ever saw was 4. So I have a soft spot in my heart for that Michael Caine Jaws movie.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I'd get rid of all of those. And it's very surprising that we haven't got another Jaws movie. Like more recently.
Isn't it though? Yeah.
We're getting like the Meg and there's Deep Blue Sea sequels, but there's no...
It's wild. I wonder if somebody owns it and it's stuck in a complicated legal battle.
Yeah.
And maybe it was made by a studio that is now defunct and two rival studios are fighting over the IP or something like that.
I think the IP, I know it's like the family still own it.
Oh.
Like I think she might be still alive, the wife of the guy who wrote the first book.
Right.
Something.
Oh, that reminds me. We talked about Enola Holmes briefly, like a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, and it's being sued by the estate of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yes.
For a variety of reasons based on character traits and et cetera and copyright law. I learned recently that apparently they sue everybody.
Oh.
Two notes. They sue everybody who's making it as Sherlock Holmes anything.
That seems expensive.
And they usually come to a settlement of some sort.
Oh, so that's how they make their money.
Yeah. And 2, apparently Sir Arthur Conan Doyle had no kids. So it's just like great grandnephews and it's just people who have a vague
who've never done anything.
Yeah, right, exactly. And every once in a while they're like, we would like some money, please.
Oh, that's just terrific.
Yeah. Allegedly. I don't want them to sue us.
Yeah. But we'll settle, obviously.
Yeah, we'll settle. We'll settle out of court.
Got some John Travolta sequels here that you might be interested in.
You go on.
So Grease and Saturday Night Fever.
Is he in Grease too? I don't think he is.
No, but you're still eliminating.
Oh, I see. Then
everything post.
Yeah.
First Grease. Well, would you do it?
My favorite tweet this week was it was some I can't give him credit, but it said
you can't or you won't.
I absolutely refuse. No, I'll find him. And it just said. Review of the Dune trailer, and then it's just a photo of John Travolta from Greece, and he's saying Sandy. So
very good.
Good joke,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Let's find it. It's Ryan Perry on Twitter.
Did you screenshot that? How did you find it so quickly?
retweeted it. It's on my Twitters.
Very
good.
good.
It's on the Twitters.
I haven't seen this sequel, but Sin City probably. Eliminate the second one.
No, see, I want it. It's my, as you know, it's my backup entertainment.
That's true.
It's on an old iPad, and if all other entertainment is destroyed somehow in some sort of impending apocalypse,
yes,
then at least I'll be able to watch Sin City too. So that
Joseph
stays.
Gordon-Levitt's in this one. Yeah, you could say.
Yeah, he stays.
How many Kick-Ass movies are you eliminating? Yeah, just the second one.
Yeah, I'm keeping one and eliminating one. Yes.
Fair enough. I can't really argue with that. Now, this is going to be controversial. People are going to be like, James, you've said something controversial here.
Actually, is there any elements that are good in Kick-Ass 2?
There's some good fight stuff, I guess, and there's the threat of a Kick-Ass 3.
Right, good.
Remember at the end?
Yeah,
they're like Kick-Ass 3?
Not really.
I guess, yeah.
No, you can take it or leave it. I mean,
Jim Carrey's in it. He's like
he is too. That's
Donald
right.
Faison is in it.
Yeah. But man, all the good Nicolas Cage stuff is in the first one. So.
Yeah. Is he even in the second one?
I don't think he is.
And not even as a flashback or whatever? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me or you. So the Pirates movies, right?
Yes.
There's a million of them. The first one is an undisputed classic.
I think so.
People don't mind 2 and 3 though.
Okay.
I would still eliminate all of them.
I would eliminate all of them past the first one,
because I've seen so many hours of those movies.
The last one drained some years off my life, I think, in watching it at the cinema.
It was a big tired sigh, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
I didn't like it. And I think based off that alone, I'd eliminate them all.
Yeah.
There was also, and we've talked about this, but there were big pauses for laughs in that movie as well.
Yeah, that's right.
In the editing.
Yeah.
And it was not a funny movie.
There's a great, I'm not sure if it's still up on YouTube. I think it might have been removed for some reason, but Lindsay Ellis has a great video on that called "Dead Genres Tell No Tales."
Oh, I think I may have seen that.
About the Pirates franchise. Yeah, it's not on YouTube anymore for some reason. I think she had to remove it for some complicated reason, but you can still track it down.
Okay, cool.
If you need to.
On DVD?
Yeah, on DVD.
Terrific. I got a few other ones here that you might be like, yeah, but they're not all terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The Oceans movies.
Ooh.
But how good would that be if that was like a standalone heist movie?
Yeah. And again, we remove sequel expectations from fans.
Yep. Because I think I didn't mind the last one. It was fine.
Yeah.
3, I think, is quite good. 2 is a weird meta commentary on the Hollywood industrial complex.
Yeah, dump them.
I reckon I agree.
Because I like the idea that there was one terrible one from the 60s and then just an amazing remake that blew it out of the water on every conceivable level.
And then that's it.
And then that's it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you'd ruin the friendship of those actors who loved working together, Mason.
I guess that's
but
true.
You'd sacrifice that, would you?
Yeah, I would. They could do a different movie in a different genre.
They totally could, couldn't they?
They could just be friends. It could just be called Friends Hanging Out.
Friends Hanging Out.
You know, Cheadle could be there.
He could be there.
You know?
What? Well, you know, like it's like your the Sting in relation to Butch Cassidy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got the same leads.
That would be perfect.
Different scenarios.
See, that's the thing. We're also changing we're changing the course of film history every time we do this, and they can make a western.
Just so you know, this we're not really.
No, we are.
No.
What about this? They have to make a Robin and the Seven Hoods remake.
Oh, the worst movie.
But what did they do with the last one?
It'd be good,
right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Exactly. And also they get away with it at the end of the first one. And I kind of like the idea that what are their lives now after this?
Yeah.
Get away with it.
They got away with it. Yeah, that's a good point. What about this one? The Bourne movies. Are you eliminating Bourne Ultimatum, the Bourne Upendum, the Bourne Parallelum, the one with Jeremy Renner?
Yes.
The last one, whatever that was. I would eliminate all the Bournes except the first one.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's a bloody cracking European action flick.
That's right. It
with a really
absolutely
good car chase and fight sequences.
And it's absolutely diminishing returns at the end.
The other ones are fine.
But again, I would add in, if we're going to be chopping and changing,
Yep.
I would add in the element where at the end of the movie he falls into the water and then he wakes up on the ship from the start of the movie again. And then there's a title card that says time travel and then the Moby song plays and then it's...
Yeah, absolutely. So it would be its own sequels.
Yep.
That's brilliant, Mason.
Thank you. I've tied it all together.
You got thoughts on Basic Instinct 2?
Nope.
Okay.
Why would I?
I have thoughts on this. Wall Street 2 Money Never Sleeps.
I've seen it. I know Shia LaBeouf is in it.
It's an awful movie.
Yeah, I remember it being awful.
And you know that Gordon Gekko takes a turn for the worse.
He just becomes evil at the end,
He
right?
slicks his hair back and he gets his tailored suits.
He's like, I've changed my ways. I'm no longer a greeter's good Wall Street guy. Surprise, I still am, but even worse somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it ends with a barbecue on the roof and everybody's friends or whatever.
Yeah. Garbage
Movie. Shouldn't have made it. And there's a Charlie Sheen cameo because, he was obviously the lead in the first one. American Psycho 2. I mean, there's only one. What do you...
All American Girl or whatever it was called.
Well, here's the thing. The sequel's only connection to the original is the death of Patrick Bateman, right? Who's played by a different actor wearing a face mask. That's briefly shown in flashback. Mila Kunis, who stars in it, said it was something else when they made it and it was edited into
Oh my goodness,
a sequel.
an American Psycho
But it's
sequel.
mostly unrelated.
That's
it's just
wild.
a woman killing people.
That's great.
So there you go.
But I mean, that would also eliminate the if we eliminate everything after American Psycho, we also eliminate the series of emails you could get from Patrick Bateman if you signed up. To like an
Really?
email service in the year 2000.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think it was a continuing story of Patrick Bateman after, like in the modern day.
That's tied to the first movie, and I don't think that would be
No, it would
eliminated.
be gone. So I'm going to say keep the Mila Kunis movie because I like those emails. He described all his nice little outfits in it.
Did he?
It was fun, yeah.
So it was modern day Patrick Bateman.
Well, yeah, modern for 2000.
Yes,
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
Very
I
good.
bet they're archived somewhere. You can just find them. Yeah.
There's actually, we can probably get through all of these because there's not that many left.
Okay, let's do it. Let's churn them out.
So,
in an entertaining way.
absolutely no. Let's
Okay.
list them in alphabetical order.
Is Highlander on there?
Well, I was going to ask you about Highlander because
Yeah.
I know you're a fan of Highlander 3 and also...
No. I'm James. You don't know me at all, James.
4 in the TV series.
4, exactly.
Yes.
I'm a fan of the first one.
Yep.
And then Highlander 4 Endgame.
Yes.
And then I'm a fan of Highlander the series, but not Highlander the series The Raven, which I just haven't seen really. I've only seen a few episodes of that.
Which is the one
But
where
man, that kept me entertained in the mid to late 90s or whenever that series
Sure.
came out.
Okay, fair. So
Yeah,
you're
good
keeping
stuff.
it all, are you?
Yeah, I guess so. Yes, we are keeping Highlander 2 The Quickening. We are keeping Highlander 3 The Sorcerer.
right.
We are keeping Highlander 6-5 The Source or whatever it's called.
6-5 the source.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I was going to make a cruise control joke, but I can't, Mason.
You're not allowed to. That's right.
What about this one?
You're veering dangerously close to not being able to use Back in the Habit either.
Yes. Would you sister
No,
act?
because of Back in the Habit.
Yeah, you're right. Some of these are just like they made a second movie and it's not good.
Okay.
Independence Day.
Oh.
I'd get rid of both of those.
Yeah, I'd get rid of
movies.
both of them too.
No, that's a
But
pioneering
how much?
movie. And whatever.
How much do you think of our lives and the lives of society have been altered by the idea of like that laser shooting down into the White House and blowing it up?
That's a big deal, man.
Big deal,
Yeah,
right?
so I wouldn't eliminate it. I don't love that movie, but I could.
Is the proviso we have to watch all the sequels? I think it might be.
Sure.
I think it might be because otherwise
It's whatever.
it is exactly. It's whatever.
Conan has a sequel and also
the
a
Destroyer,
reboot.
yeah.
But yeah, okay. I haven't seen the sequel or the reboot, so I don't have an opinion.
I have seen Conan the Destroyer, but I cannot tell you what's in it. I can't distinguish between the two, so I can't really.
Is there a Red Sonja movie?
Yes.
Is that related?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Maybe. What about Planet of the Apes, but the original ones? So you just keep the original.
Yep.
I'm not talking about the reboots.
No, you have to remove them.
Okay,
They have
then
to all
no.
go.
Then
Yeah.
no, they don't
all
all
have
go.
to go.
They do not all go.
Okay,
Do you
then-
get rid of them all?
No, because I like the new ones.
Yeah, that's
for
what
the
I
most
was
part.
going to
Yeah,
say,
that's right.
Mason.
So we have to suffer through Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Haven't seen
and
it.
the one where everybody's worshipping the nuclear bomb, which I think is Beneath the
Might
Planet
be
of
the
the
same
Apes.
one, yeah. Might be the same one. What about this?
The one where they're just apes in modern day times because they've time traveled
yeah,
somehow.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so to wrap this up, there's just like a
Also,
lot.
we'll never get that sequel where the astronauts come back.
Yeah.
I want the one where the astronauts come back.
I think we're going to be getting the astronaut sequel
right.
at some point.
Okay.
So there's lots of comedies which got belated sequels and prequels. Here's to name a few that
Yes.
I would get rid of.
Would you eliminate? Side note: would you eliminate all the Hangover movies?
Yes.
All of them, including
Yeah,
one.
all of them.
All right, just
To
checking.
never have to. No, yeah. I really hate those sequels.
Right? They're
Yeah.
so bad.
So this is an all or nothing
This is
scenario.
all or nothing,
Then
yes.
yeah, I would eliminate them all. I mean, as long as it doesn't adversely affect the movie due date.
Yeah, because I remember really enjoying The Hangover, but
Same.
how well is it aged?
I would never watch it again because I hate those sequels so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably a bit probo, some of the stuff in there.
It's the era it was made or whatever. So
10 years ago or whatever.
yeah. So yeah, I would eliminate all of them. Yes, if it meant. Dumb and Dumber has a prequel movie and a sequel, which people hate. Neither of which I've seen. Caddyshack has a horrible sequel, apparently, which I haven't seen.
I've seen Caddyshack too. Sure.
Yeah.
Back in the Habit.
Back in the Habit, yeah. And I don't mind Anchorman 2. Have you seen Anchorman 2?
I've never seen Anchorman 2.
It's okay. I wouldn't eliminate
Okay,
that.
great.
But have you ever seen Zoolander 2?
No.
Bloody hell, mate.
Okay. Is that an all or nothing? Would you eliminate both Zoolander movies so you didn't have to see Zoolander 2?
I would. And I really like the first Zoolander, but yes.
Wow.
That's a terrible sequel.
That's a shame.
It kind of shocked me how bad it was.
Why is it that bad though?
I don't. It's interesting because I think Ben Stiller is a good director, and I think he's also recently made good movies that he's directed. Like I like The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
That was a fun, pretty fun movie. Yeah,
and even like Cable Guy was
heartwarming.
Yeah, but like Cable Guy was, that was at the time it was maligned, but it's since gone on to be this kind of cult classic ahead of its time.
Yeah, right.
But
Reality Bites.
Reality Bites, exactly. I watched that recently and it's like, ugh. And they're like, we don't want to pay our rent because we're Gen X. Maybe you should pay your rent. I mean, if you can, obviously. I don't want to put that on them, but it was more like, what are you doing, Ben Stiller, with your real job? Ethan Hawke, what do you even know? Let me check his. Yeah, it's actually the last, because he also did Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, the last movie he directed was Zoolander 2.
Okay.
Maybe
he has lost it then.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he could come back and do another.
But what's bad about it is my question. Like,
it's not funny. It's like incredibly unfunny.
Is it an unfunny script, or is it that thing where like the jokes are kind of the same but they're not sold as well?
Yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm. Like it's got your cameos and it's like, oh, Billy Zane's back and whatever.
Yeah, right.
And
sounds like a retread.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's also really bad. Did I mention how bad it is?
Mention how bad it
was.
Bad movie. Okay, right.
It probably would have worked better as a Saturday Night Live skit where they bring him back for,
or like an MTV Movie Award.
Yeah,
where
whatever.
Bring Zoolander back. Yeah.
So there you go. There you go. And that's all the movies which we would eliminate.
That's right.
If everybody has...
If one of your favourite was in there, too bad.
We got rid of it.
That's right. It's gone forever.
We hope you don't mind.
No complaints because you don't remember that it exists.
Yeah, that's right. Is there any others?
We Men in Black you. Oh, there's one.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt, I would wipe every Men in Black movie.
Including the first one.
No, I like that movie.
Right.
But how many Ghostbusters would you wipe out?
If I had to wipe... Ooh.
I don't mind 2.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't get the new one either, would we? Which I also don't really care about, to be fair.
I don't care about it either, I'll be honest with you. It was fine, but...
No, I meant the new one.
Oh, Afterlife.
Yeah.
No, I want to see Afterlife.
I'm not really that interested. I'm so sick of people screaming at each other about Ghostbusters.
I'd forgotten that movie existed or will exist or
well, it was supposed
whatever.
to come out this year. It was supposed to come out in July. So, yeah.
Middle America Ghostbusters or whatever it is. No, I want to see that, and I will sit through Ghostbusters 2 and answer the call to see that.
Great.
And then afterwards, maybe I'll eliminate them all.
Maybe you will. Terrific.
Yes.
All right, that's movies, isn't it?
It is movies.
Let's move on to the next segment of the show.
Yes.
What's it called, though?
Oh, it's called What We Reading.
What We Gonna Read.
That's correct.
I'm doing the thing. What are we Westworld. Today? Mason, what are you reading today?
Oh, good question. I'm trying to think, James. It's been a big week for this little fella.
No doubt.
That's me.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Stanley Tucci, a movie that I rewatched just recently. I think I watched it on. Oh, it's on SBS. SBS on demand.
Yeah.
It's big. Have you ever seen Big Night?
Big Night.
Big Night. It's from the mid-90s.
No.
So Stanley Tucci, I think, wrote it, produced it.
How big's this knight?
So big. It's the biggest knight.
How's big's his sword?
There's no sword.
He's a knight.
Oh, it's a knight. Oh, Big Night. Oh, I see where you're going, James.
Thank you.
I see where you're going. But night is in the time.
Two
time
Italian
of day.
brothers, a chef and a businessman, must do whatever it takes to impress the famous Italian-American singer
It's really good.
and save their something. I've never heard of this.
It's got Stanley Tucci with hair.
And it's also got, what's his name?
Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah, he and
Mimi
Tony,
Driver's in it?
yeah.
It's got names, man.
He and Tony Shalhoub play brothers, right? And they have this Italian. They're like Italian immigrants in the 50s, and they have this Italian restaurant.
Are they doing the accents?
Yeah.
Mamma mia.
Anyway, and their restaurant's kind of failing, but their rival's restaurant is like flourishing. And they're like, it's because ours is failing because we do the real stuff and people aren't used to the real Italian stuff, right? But
Sure.
he has this Americanized slop that's no good, right?
Ooh.
But then they're like, okay, we're going to go to him for a loan. And he's like, I can't give you a loan, but I'm friends with Louis Prima, the jazz singer. And when he comes to town, I'm going to tell him to go to your restaurant. And so they've got to prepare for the big night.
Ah,
It's good. It's a little bit farcical.
Cool. All right, cool.
But also, Stanley Tucci's having an affair with the rival's wife.
Oh,
and
my
it's all going to
goodness.
come to a head. It's a good movie.
Sounds like an episode of Faulty Towers, but with Italians.
And it's also one of those movies that makes you hungry. Because like the centerpiece of the movie, they make a thing called a timpano.
Yeah.
Which is like it's like a baked pasta dish, which is the size and shape of one of those giant wheels of cheese.
Oh, my goodness.
Like it's like you cut slices out of it, and it's got like lasagna in it,
sounds
like
incredible.
eggs and sausage, and like
Oh, my God.
like I wish I could make one of those, but it takes like 10 hours, so I'm not going to.
And then you got a giant wheel of spaghetti sauce.
right?
or
Well,
whatever.
exactly. Like you need 10 people to eat it as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And you don't know anybody.
That's exactly right.
And I'm not doing carbs, am I? So not helping
It'd
you
be
out.
wasted on you. You just have to stare at it sadly. So, well, James, what have you been reading?
Well, actually, Marvel Zombies is back with Marvel Zombies Resurrection. Philip K. Johnson and Leonard Kirk are on that book. It's a reboot of all the other Marvel Zombies, which may or may not be connected. Some are, some
mean
aren't.
it's a
probably.
reboot?
Well, it's a new story. It's not like connected to
you're right.
everything else.
You love your alternate reality zombie stuff, don't you?
Well, I don't mind a zombie thing, Mason. I like to see what's going to happen to Thor if he's a zombie.
That's true.
Just hitting people.
Yeah.
Or is he not worthy? Because he's...
Probably isn't
Yeah, he
worthy.
can't. No, he's not worthy. He's got like a fake hammer because he can't be on the hammer
right,
anymore.
right.
Yeah. But in this reboot, Spider-Man, he's leading a group of survivors in the wilderness, and they're going to check out the X Mansion. They've got a big Sentinel that they've reprogrammed as kind of this nanny that's kind of looks
okay.
after them. And there's a really I don't want to spoil it, but there's
They've programmed it as the nanny.
yeah, Mr. Chef,
Professor Xavier! You get it.
I get it.
Way more popular in Australia than in America.
Shouldn't
so a
be,
lot of
but
people
it
won't
is.
get it. A lot of people will be like, what are you even talking about?
Fran Drescher, everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
But so it's got a cool conclusion of the first.
Logan! You get it.
At the very end,
Yes.
There's an inclusion of a character that I'm like, oh, that's someone interesting to turn up in a zombie apocalypse. I won't
Fran
spoil it
Drescher.
here. It's Fran Drescher. She's come to claim the
Niles.
robot. Yeah, so there you go. Check it out if you want to. But it's if you like sad Spider-Man,
Yeah.
then that's where it's at.
Sad Spider-Man cracking the spider sads.
It certainly is.
Nice. There you go.
What's next, Mason?
Also, we read The Walking Dead. The first,
We did
the
because
first,
we're doing it for Book Club.
Book Club, so we'll talk about
Have
that.
you
on
actually read it?
Yeah, I
now?
read it.
Oh, you finished it. Good, cool.
finished it.
We should record that then at some point.
We'll do it, yes.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right, nice.
What else?
Letters. Wait, no, wrong one. Oh, God, James, no.
What have you
I've done
played?
the wrong one. I played some sort of Halloween-based Weekly Planet Letters theme, but here's the regular one.
That's coming up.
Classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Ben Stiller, he's producing a movie called Friendsgiving, which is coming out in 2020.
Sounds bad.
Maybe.
No, you will admit it here. It sounds bad.
It does sound bad.
Sounds bad,
But there's
right?
some people in it that I'm like, oh, yeah. All right, what do we got here, Mason?
Well, here's an email.
I love Chelsea Peretti's in it.
Could be a bad movie she's in.
Yep.
She's good, though. Like her and
I
stuff.
agree.
Good stand-up. This is from Marcellus Walls. Trini, listener number 3.
What up?
Hey, James and Mason, I've been listening to the podcast and view of the YouTube page for many, many years now. I never took the time to write in, but I had to for this occasion. I was driving when you heard that you had another listener from Trinidad the first time, and at work when I heard about the second one last week. And here I am to tell you that you have a third Trini listener. Wait, but here's the thing. I'm a Trini American, first-generation American born in New York to Trini parents and currently living in Atlanta, Georgia.
Whoa. Yeah,
whoa.
okay, whatever.
No, well, you can have it. We'll give you a pass. Another one. This is some rant here. Sundar Singh. Hey, guys, I guess every Trini is going to come out of the woodwork now, but when I heard Darian S. was from Trinidad, I asked my friend Darian B. if it was him by chance, and it wasn't. But here are 2 more Trinis that listen to the podcast.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yes?
How many we got now? We've got 5 of them, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this until we get the entire population.
I think they should all meet up and
Keep
take a
sending
photo.
them in.
I don't know how big Trinidad and Tobago is,
Sure.
but they should all meet up, even during COVID.
Just in a centralized spot.
Yeah, or do a Zoom call.
Do a Zoom call.
How would you do that if you don't know people? I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm talking
You
about.
could join the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group.
Yes.
Find one another, Zoom call, take a screenshot, send it to us, and we'll
know.
go, huh,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they did.
That's interesting. They did it.
You could also do it through the Weekly Planet Reddit page.
That's
there
true.
are many ways
yeah.
you could do it.
Yeah, that's true. And yes, the term is Trini, although technically we are the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So some people prefer if we refer to ourselves as Trinbagonians, but that's just PC gone mad.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
What's the population of Trinidad? Let me check.
If you know, email in.
I mean, I can
This is
check.
from Nicholas Procope.
1.39
Hey, James and Meso,
million.
my name is Nicholas, and I've been a listener for a few years now, and I'm too from Trinidad.
We're getting them all.
Yeah.
That's 6.
I've gone through some rough times over the years, and putting on a caravan of garbage, listening to an episode of the pod, or looking at different breakdowns always cheers me up. Thanks for all the laughs. Grab it at gem from Nicholas. P.S. Can I be the official Trinidadian of the podcast?
Has it been claimed? Did we already say that?
Here's an email from SC Jones. This is from Sydney. In episode 350, you read a letter from Trinidad. Meso made the classic blunder of saying you only get one download from Trinidad, so it's probably Darian. I'll have you know I'm also from Trinidad and have been listening for several years, so Darian can suck it. I listen every day while walking my dog, but since I'm petty, could I be the official Trinidadian of the podcast?
Which email came first?
Let's see. Sydney 6 days ago. Nicholas today.
There you go.
Sydney's the official Trinidadian of the podcast.
But does it determine whoever gets read out first?
Good question. Well, but I knew about them both, so.
Oh, okay, but you must have read one of them.
I think it's probably a fight, right? Like
it's obviously a fight. I was going to say, if it's going to be anything, it's a fight.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do want to email the show, weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's the one, yeah.
That's how you do it.
That's right.
Or hashtag weeklyplanetpod on Twitter.
Yeah. I have some non-Trinidad based letters.
Well, we can do some of those if you would like.
Okay, cool, yeah. So, this is from Will. I'm all
Yes.
right now, it says. Dear the boys, I'm assuming us, not the Amazon Prime television show.
Sure.
Emailing you all the way from the UK. Been a long time listener, but felt compelled to email after I crashed my bike yesterday headfirst into a car while listening to the podcast.
Oh, boo.
After coming to on the ground 4 meters away, your voices were the first thing I heard after struggling out an unconvincing I'm all right to concerned onlookers. To make things more confusing, the ambulance guy who checked me over was from Melbourne, and it made me feel like you'd sent someone to help.
We didn't, just to clarify.
Oh, no, I did.
I thought he was on his own, but thank goodness you were there.
Yeah, well, I mean, right? He could have died, this guy. My phone was unscathed, so I'm finishing off the remaining 1 hour, 20 minutes of the podcast as I write this. These crashes seem to be a recurring theme of the podcast, but it's probably just a coincidence. Probably.
Don't
That's from
listen
Will. Thank you,
to
Will.
your phone on your bike.
Can you do that? You're allowed to do that, I think.
I don't think you should.
Oh, I see.
You'll have an accident.
Oh, well, this guy did, but maybe... Nah.
We don't get emails about people who don't have accidents.
Sometimes we do.
About people who ride bikes with
But never
headphones in.
apropos of nothing. Nobody's ever emailing in
now
without
we
being
are.
prompted and being like, I just listen. I was just sitting on my couch listening to the podcast and nothing happened.
Ready for this, Mason?
Yes.
Polar Bear says, can we start a campaign to have Denis Villeneuve write a pamphlet explaining the word of Dune that we receive as we walk into theatres?
Because that happened with the original.
That happened with
right?
the original. Do you think that's...
Was David Lynch there handing it out?
Yes.
Wow.
Every cinema.
Wow.
In America. How did he do it?
No wonder he looks so tired.
I know. So it aged him horribly. Yes, I would love to say. I'm not going to start that campaign, but yeah, sure. But also, what about online stuff these days? Because you can look on your phone. You can look on your telephone.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an app and you open it and it's...
There should be a spin-off webisode of
Oh,
all
right.
the cast.
Like there was for The Boys this week. Did you see? There was a webisode.
I didn't see that webisode.
Yeah.
No.
It's what
I'm
Billy
behind
Butcher
on The
was
Boys.
up
I
to.
didn't watch the latest episode of The Boys. But
Don't worry, we'll do an episode of The Boys.
yeah, we'll do an episode on The Boys.
The Boys is at its conclusion.
Yeah.
Hey, question. This is from James D. Pearson. Have you guys read any of Jonathan Hickman's new X-Men run?
No.
Me neither.
House of X, Powers of X. No, but I hear it's great. I hear it's a redefining X-Men storyline in the same way that New X-Men was.
Oh my
back
goodness.
in the day. So
Well, then, I haven't read it either. There's a question about the MCU and whatever, how they should do it. And, but
Oh.
no, I don't think they should use that book because I haven't read it yet.
okay, right. You'd be confused and upset.
I
but wouldn't
would.
that thrill you? Because it's new and fresh, and you're like, I
It
don't
may
know.
very well
I
be.
don't know where this is going. You know.
I've got one more tweet here from
Okay,
ESP.
well, I have one more letter after you do that.
Okay,
tweet.
well, do you want to go first or would you like me to read this tweet?
Is the tweet a big finish?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well then I'll do my email. This is from Gregory Gritmon, which is a good name to say. Try it yourself.
Gregory Gritmon.
Good name, right? He's from the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group.
That's where I'm from.
But hey, James and Meso, since April I've been working with the Great Mates Movie Club, one of the Great Mates subgroups, to reenact the entirety of The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they premiered this recently. I was at work, so I couldn't watch it, but it would be super appreciated if you could pretty please give us a shout out on the pod. Absolutely.
I'm very busy. I don't know.
I'll do it then. Over 20 great mates coordinated 60 people to bring this masterpiece to reality, and I just want as many mates as possible to see it. There you go, from Greg.
Terrific work, Greg.
Pretty wild, right?
That's crazy.
I mean, there's two versions of the Princess Bride out now.
Yes.
The remake, which is one which has a lot of major celebrities. But that's on Quibi, and you got to pay for it. So, but you can see this on for free on YouTube. I looked it up earlier. You just look up if you look up Princess Bride and then Great Mates, GR8. M8.
Is it the length of the movie?
It's like an hour and a half.
It would have to be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's how that
Very
works.
good. That's terrific
wild,
stuff.
right? Yeah.
That is wild. It's a wild ride.
Anyway, congratulations to everybody involved.
Thank you. This is from ESP
Son of a bitch,
1995.
Absolute son of a bitch.
Hey, the Weekly Planet. Big shout out from the UK. I was wondering, what is the most engrossing movie scene that makes you want to look away simultaneously? Just where you watch John Wick 3, that knife fight always gets me.
Oh, interesting, right?
I remember, this isn't a movie scene, but do you remember when the Viper fought to the mountain in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, right,
I was
right.
like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then he got him. So that was, for me, it was like one of those, like, oh. What about you?
Does it have to be gross, I wonder?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It could be like the tension is so high when they flew inside that ship in Independence Day too. Or
Yeah, that's
happened.
true.
Remember how high the tension was?
I think maybe more for me, just like any kind. I think.
What about ice stuff?
Yeah, ice stuff is bad. Yeah. Anything like any. Speaking of like a Borat kind of situation, any kind of like
right,
jackass,
yeah.
or it's a funny thing, but real people are involved.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see real unless. Even if they're bad people, I don't necessarily want to see like.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this conflict evolve, or like these people realize they're being tricked and you know.
Yeah,
ugh.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you don't like the cringe comedy, Mason?
I don't like the cringe comedy. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I prefer
What about if it's a comedian telling you how it is?
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because they're the real bastions of truth. I don't
That's
know if
true.
you know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I love it when when people try to silence a comedian, but it's okay because they've got their special on Amazon Video somehow, you know?
Yeah, I get
They're
it.
just being silenced every week on their YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers. You know? They're
crazy.
being silenced.
It's crazy. It's cancel culture at all those
Absolutely
things.
is, yeah.
That's the show then, I
It
think.
absolutely is the show. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I hope everybody, again, is doing all right.
Yeah, man.
We always love to hear about when you're doing all right.
We do. Or not. That's fine too.
That's true, yeah. I mean,
Whatever.
get through this however way you can. By that, I
Yeah.
mean the podcast. Get through our podcast however you can.
On a bike, off a bike, crash a
right.
bike.
Yep, that's right.
As long as it's bike related.
We don't mind. Thanks everybody for listening, for telling a friend.
Yes.
For getting on a Zoom call with everybody from the country where you live.
Yep.
And getting a screenshot and sending it to us. Thank you for leaving a nice review. James, you got a nice review?
I got a couple of nice reviews here, Mason. I've just brought them up. No, they've gone again. No, they're back. Okay, so two guys with wise insights. It's from Alexander. Good, fun, and informative. The only podcast I've seen to give David Prowse the credit he deserves.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's our Prowse-dest moment. Thank you. There's also, this is in app. You can do it in app. Did you know?
Right, I did know that.
Some Tommy Figgs said, amending my previous review. In my last review, I said that the guys are very positive and say good things about bad movies. And after listening to every episode, I must admit that these guys can certainly poop on some bad movies, but those movies are poop, like The Predator 2018 and Transformers 2 through to 5. So it's all good, 5 stars. Really helps the show. We'd really appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, side note, Predator franchise. Everything after the first one?
Nah, because Predators.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah. But you got to suffer through all the other ones.
Yep, fine. Predator 2 is okay.
Yeah, that's true. Alien versus Predator. Both of those.
Ugh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, Predators is really good.
Predators is good. It's worth it.
Okay.
And spin-off materials. And Batman versus Predator.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of stuff from that is from Predator 2, so
That's
what
true.
do you do?
Yeah, you're right.
What else, Mason?
Look, if anybody wants to get in contact with us, they can go to weeklyplanetpod at Gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. They can go to planetbroadcasting.com. They can see all the podcasts on the Planet Broadcasting Network. They can also sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collins.
Yeah, that's this show.
He does. He's at Raw Collins on Twitter, and he's also at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. I'm Wikipedia Brand on Twitter, and on Instagram, I'm Nick Maso, NickMaseeau. James, you're Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Yep.
You can also go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group or any of the subgroups. You can find all kinds of groups if you're whatever you're into. But if you're into our podcast, maybe join that group. If you
Absolutely,
like. Just
you
have
could.
fun, fine discussions. Everybody's real nice over there.
Be kind.
And if they're not, they're out.
Yeah, they're out. Get out.
Get
you
out
get
of
one
here.
chance.
We
Not
don't want
even.
you.
You're out.
That's right. 0 chances. Join, you got 0 chances, then you're out.
It's cancel culture, yes. It's PC gone mad, yes. But guess what? You're out. So.
Yeah, it's If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies if you'd like to chuck in a buck.
Yeah.
We'd very much appreciate it. You get all sorts of early stuff.
Yep.
And you can also go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description where you can get stuff for your house probably. If you want to get stuff delivered, you can go through the Amazon affiliate link description. You can also sign up to bigsandwich.co. We've got some super exclusive stuff you don't even get if you're a Patreon subscriber. You go to bigsandwich.com.
You get things there that you wouldn't even believe.
.co.
.co. Yeah. It's linked below and whatever. Yeah, there's things there you wouldn't believe, including our bonus podcast, which by the time these go out every Monday, there's a bonus thing there always.
Right.
And there's the Caravan of Garbages are always they are. I was going to say mostly always, but they are. They're always early.
What a grand time. I'm enjoying the bonus stuff.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it because I'm also enjoying it, Mason.
Very nice.
Yeah, very good.
We've got some t-shirts on tpublic.com.
Yep.
I saw a nice couple wearing Christopher Small's Robot Bat t-shirt recently.
Good. By the way, there's some
matching tees.
I don't know if that's at our one.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
But there are some bootlegs of those floating around, so make sure you go through the proper ones.
Really well.
Yeah,
okay.
so don't be doing that.
I really hope it's a good movie because what if it's not? Because I've seen a lot of those t-shirts out there.
Well, the t-shirt mostly doesn't make sense. So
it absolutely does not make any sense. That's true.
I think it's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, we were thinking of mashing this into this week, but it ran a little long, where movies that there's only one, but maybe another, perhaps.
We'd like there to be a sequel,
We might do that next week, but then something else might be happening.
That's right.
Maybe
Tenet will come out on streaming and we can watch it.
Also, we might be driving to see it somewhere. We don't know yet. And we also is this worth it?
I think it is. From what I've heard, I don't know if it's worth it, but we'll give it a whirl.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you to The Brute and The Basilisk and Rackham for all the musical themes, and that's the whole show, I reckon.
It is.
What do you reckon about that?
I think it's good, Mason. I think you did a good job. Me?
Yeah.
Probably record another video and then I'll have dinner.
Nice.
Teach my son to ride a bike. I'm doing a bit of that as well.
Oh, yeah? Is he a good student?
In a way, Mason, he's teaching me how to teach him to ride a bike. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Because I've never taught someone to ride a bike.
So he's on the bike, and then he gets off the bike and he stands behind you, and then he's like, "Now what you're going to have to do is recommend that I put my feet on the pedals and hold tight onto the handlebars."
Yes.
And then okay.
Yeah.
And then he gets back and he sits down on the bike, and then you explain what he just explained to you. This kid's wise.
He certainly is. He knows a frog when he sees one.
Yep, that's right.
All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye. Let me put in the end sting, Mason.
Nice end sting.
Yeah. Roxanne.
What are you, a bee?
Put on a red. No, I'm doing sting.
Oh, sting. That's also
Roxanne.
good. No, that's good stuff.
Is that good enough to end this podcast on?
No, but it's never stopped us before, so.
Good point. This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.